Hey guys, I just wanted to put out another video and offer another review and opinion on the Breek Arms Warhammer. This one here is the Mod 2 and it's the micro version. So if you've seen the other ones, they're usually a little bit wider. This is a mil spec by Aero Precision, but you can see it's a little bit narrower. So kind of nice in that sense. I went with this one just because with the firearm setup I'm running, I didn't want it poking at me in the ribs and stuff while I'm running my gear, have a sling on the firearm kind of thing. So the question that title of the video really is duty grade. Would I consider this charging handle duty grade? And I want to go over a couple things with it and show a couple comparisons here of the ones that I have in front of me, and just show opinions and kind of come to a conclusion on it. So like I said, the ones we got here: Breek Arms, Warhammer, Mod 2 micro version. This is a mil spec by Aero Precision, so just your standard AR-15 charging handle. This one here is a BCM Mod 3B. Yes. This is the large latch on that one. And then this is another Aero Precision. I got this like, I don't know, 7 years ago or something. That one is just their ambi charging handle. And so going over a few comparisons with them, right? Standard charging handles. With these two, you're just going to have the latch on the one side, and these two are both ambi. So regardless of which lever you're pulling, whether it's on the right or the left, or both, right, you're going to be able to actuate that latch and run your charging handle. So as far as material wise, they're all made out of that 70-75 aluminum. This one in their Mod 2 version, specifically if you've seen the other videos, they have really designed it around being suppressor friendly. I do not have a suppressor, so I can't give a honest opinion on that, but from the other videos I've seen, it sounds like it does a pretty good job. Except if you're left-handed like me, it does divert it off to the right, so I'm assuming that if you are left-handed, you probably won't enjoy it as much, as a heads up. Other than that, you got the gas stop there, right? With your standard, like these two, you're gonna kind of have a ledge there, help divert the gas. But with the BCM, you got a notch right dead in the middle, so it's probably not gonna do much for gas diversion on that. Solid spring on this guy, nice and stiff. Like I don't want a really smushy spring, just because in my head, one that feels really soft just feels like it's going to wear out faster, in my humble opinion. I want something that's got a little bit of rigidity there, and just helps me feel like it's going to last a little longer, as compared to, again, this one I've had for a long time. This one's got a pretty light spring tension to it. A couple things that I want to also address is the assembly of these, because I have seen for sure one, maybe two out there of a guy talking about this Warhammer failing. He looks like doesn't have the micro, it's larger, and I can't remember if it's the Mod 1 or Mod 2. But one thing that I want to address, and I've seen on differences in some charging handles, popular ones like the BCMs, Radians, right, is what holds it in, specifically the roll pin, or what would be a coil pin. So a couple things that I want to point out with this is, I'm going to throw up a picture, but Breek Arms, when they first introduced the Mod 2, it looks like in the photo that they start out using a coil pin in maybe the first run or the one just for that picture. Then further down the line, when Brownells introduced that they're carrying it, it's very clear that they're using a standard roll pin. And the big reason, like, for difference in and why I bring this up is with this is a roll pin, right? This is a larger roll pin. I don't remember what this one's to, but it gives a basic, gets a point across here. So with a roll pin, you have a large slit right down the middle. It allows you to compress it as you drive it in to whatever hole is holding, what two parts you're trying to hold on, and that compresses, and just by friction is meant to stay in there, right? And then a little bit of spring type tension. Now, if it's just going into something that is not being pulled or worked, in my humble opinion, think of it like the one that holds your bolt catch or your forward assist on your AR-15. Both of those don't get run a ton. They just kind of sit in there and don't do anything. Specifically like your gas tube, right? It's in there. There's no friction against it. There's no pulling forces against it. It's just in there, right? So it's really not going to fail, or couldn't fail. Where when you have something like this, right, where we're pulling on it and putting friction and compressing that roll pin, what can happen is that space gets compressed, right, gets crushed, and then it falls out. So if you've seen that video where his falls apart, you can't see it, but from what it sounds like, it sounds like that's what happened, is the roll pin from compression failed and fell out. Well, with a coil pin, the idea is because it's layers, right, which we have on the BCM here, this is going to be hard to see. I'll also throw up a picture of like a radian, because it's very clear that that's what they use, is a coil pin to hold these in, right? That part being that one pin being the main thing that holds these levers on, right? That needs to be pretty solid and strong, and a coil pin is going to do that better than, say, a roll pin. From a mil-spec standpoint, standard roll pin, right? From this Aero Precision, I honestly don't know what these are. It's like just some pins that are popped in. I don't know if it's like a spot weld kind of thing, like a rivet maybe. I'm honestly not sure how this one's held together, and that's one reason why I don't run this as like a duty charging handle, because I'm just like not sure how, what, and when it will fail. But I really like it if you have like a scope and you're trying to get a hold of that with a large eyepiece. It's nice and wide, allows you to do that. But again, coming back to the Breek arms here, they do use roll pins. It is significantly larger than, right, say a mil-spec. This is just an itty bitty one. This one, I don't have a tool to measure it, give you an accurate. I know this is a 1/8, so it's quite a bit smaller than that one. But they do look, they're clearly larger than like a mil-spec one. The other thing is, when I can't show it on the camera, I can't get it zoomed in. When they drive that roll pin in, it looks like their tolerances, there's not a large gap, right? You don't have this big space in there where you could risk a lot of compression. It looks as though from looking at it with a magnifying glass and looking at it, it looks like that tolerance that they're putting it into, and the size of the roll pin and the size of that hole is very, very tight, so you don't risk compressing that roll pin. And I'm sure, again, if you're looking at this video, you've seen all the other videos. There's one out there where there's a guy kick-starting the Breek arms, and it holds up, doesn't fail, right? And does very well based on kind of what he's putting it through. Now, granted, he puts it through kind of a very brief trial as compared to like, yeah, I've been running this for, and this is relatively new to the market. Not something like, yeah, I ran it through, when I was in Afghanistan or whatever, guys like that where they talk about their radians. So that's something to consider, Now, to answer the question, do I consider this duty grade? For what my duty is, what my purposes are, yeah, absolutely. I am not in, you know, in a battlefield. Would I trust it in, like, for my life? To be honest, this is currently the one in my go-to rifle. I really like the overall size of it. It's obviously very, very price friendly. It is made out of high quality materials in the USA. They do back it with a solid warranty. However, a warranty is not going to cover your butt if it breaks in the field. But it is in my go-to rifle right now. I am really liking it. It does hold up to what I'm putting it through. I hope over time I can test it more. And if it fails, you will definitely hear a video or see a video from me on a fail. But based on the reviews that, like, if you hopped on Optics Planet, take a look at it right now. I think, you know, like I said, they're like 45 bucks. Killer deal, half the price of like a Radian or a BCM. But the reviews on it, it's got hundreds and hundreds of reviews, and everyone has really, really liked it. So, like I said, it's in my go-to right now. I've had the BCM in there. I really liked it, but I wanted an ambi, so that's when I got this guy to try him out. But overall, I would say it is duty grade based on your application. I don't know if you were like, hey, I'm going to Afghanistan tomorrow. Well, I guess we're not going there. But maybe if you're going to Ukraine or you're in Ukraine, I don't know yet if I would trust that. But if you're there and you're using it, please let us know. Other than that, you guys have a good one. Stay safe. Thanks.